On this episode of the John1911 Podcast, Freeze returns. What is an AR-47 anyway? The Navy buys 6.5 Creedmoor, and the Great Whacking is coming.
Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and this is episode 150 of the John1911 Podcast. Can you believe it's 150, Freeze?
Well, it's not 150 for me.
I guess that's true.
Freaking Danny stealing my thunder.
Oh, are we gonna mess up the Christmas party? Is that what's going on?
No, hell no, we're not. I love Danny. You know that. Danny's been around since we started.
Yeah, so he's doing a good job, and
no, he is. And you know what? I talked to him. Separately. We texted back and forth, and I thought he's doing a damn good job. I mean, he's done what, 2 pods now?
Yes, I think he's done 2. So
yeah, and you know what? He's doing a damn good job. I mean, and honestly, last week was such a cluster for me. It was good that we had a filler, because I was just totally out of the freaking loop.
Yeah. So, well, I've gotten a bunch of messages, and so I guess people are, I told, people were like, "What happened to Freeze?" And it's like, well, there's been some slight, just some not. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but people were making sure that you and your family were all okay. They all wanted to make sure you were okay.
Okay, everyone's fine. It was just some medical issues with my wife that nothing serious, nothing major. No one's dying. To the chagrin of some and the joy of others. But it was just, it was an issue that I had to deal with and address. And
yeah,
when you're not, when you're getting, at best 2 hours of sleep at any one given time, for, 8-10 days in a row, it takes its time. And hell, in that whole period of time, we probably didn't talk. I mean, I'm not talking about pod. I mean, we probably just didn't talk on the phone 2 hours.
Yeah.
And like a 7-8 day period. And that is unusual for us.
Yeah. So, we gossip like a bunch of women. So,
God, isn't that the truth? As a matter of fact, the old lady's always just like, God, you talk to him more than you talk to me. And it's like, yeah, well, he's more interested in you. Oh, ouch.
You should tell her, me like, well, he's a sexy motherfucker.
Well, actually, she knows that. And she tells me that every freaking day.
Oh, God.
No.
You know what? This is going to seem out of the blue for our listeners, but I wanted to tell you this, and we're going to get off this real quick. I think my number one big stalker died.
Oh, wow. Really?
A big one. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So
we'll talk.
All right.
That's interesting. So,
thank fucking God that bitch is dead. So, all right. Let's talk about Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's talk about the AR-47. Or here's the thing. So I got schooled on this. You've been talking about building one of these guns for a while, and I'm like, okay, I guess. I wasn't really sure. And I saw you running it, and I was actually pretty impressed. But I immediately got kind of schooled because you've been calling it the X39 build for a year, but I guess on the internet, everybody calls this an AR-47.
Okay, so let me clarify that. I've been calling it the X39 build because it's an AR-15 and 7.62 by 39 opposed to 5.56. So just when we're talking, I always refer to it as the X39 build opposed to a 5.56 AR build. But if you're an internet cool guy and you belong to these 7.62 by 39 AR builders, Facebook pages and forums and all that, they tend to call them AR-47s because, I don't think I need to explain why they call it an AR-47. It's an AR platform on a AK-47 caliber. Look, I don't really care that they call it the AK-47
or AR-47.
AR-47, exactly. I mean, that's the internet cool guy nomenclature, and that's fine.
Let me interrupt you here, because here's why this became an issue. Because I have to make the video, and so I'm like, okay, what do I call this thing? How do I, because you're out there shooting it. I got to actually put the thing up online, and so
True.
It's like, well, number one, the whole X39 doesn't really read that well, and then here's the thing. So when people started calling an AR-47, the first question I had was, okay, is AR-40 like, is somebody like, hey, is that a Les Bear AR-47? Like, does AR-47 belong to a company, or is it a generic term? And so I was reticent to use it because I didn't want to, like, oh my God, the AR-47's made by PD or PTR or something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know, but I guess it's a generic term. So
it's a generic term, and there's not. I mean, I don't use the term myself. I mean, I guess I could, but it's just I always called it the X39 build when we were talking, because for you it clarifies what I'm talking about, because I'm building an AR in 7.62 by 39. So if I say X39, you know exactly what platform I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I guess I probably maybe should have mentioned that to you, that the cool guys call it the AR-47, and there's nothing wrong with calling it an AR-47. I mean, but that's like the adopted name.
If that's what they commonly call it, I'm going to have to call it that. And this is where I learned it's also an issue. Is, again, like publishing it on the website or publishing it on, in social media, especially on the website, for it to be searchable. If you type in X39 on our website, basically you bring up every mention of an AK or AK caliber or ammo buy we've ever done. You can't find it. But if you type in AR-47, boom, it shows up. And it's like,
it shows up and people will find it. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really does. And I mean, again, when we always discussed it, I just called it the X39 just out of convenience for us. But AR-47 is, I guess, I mean, see,
okay. Hold on. What about this? I mean, like, we don't, like, it's AR-47. That's what I'm going to call it. Have you decided what kind of optics you're going to put on it?
I actually have the optics.
Oh, you bought some? Have you bought this since we talked, or is this something you've been sitting on?
No. I've had this optics for probably 3 months. It's a Bushnell. It's
Is it a low power or is it a high power?
No, it's high power. It's like a God. I'm probably not going to be correct on this. I don't have it sitting in front of me.
You broke up on me. Is it a low power or a high power optic?
No, it's a high power optic. It's like a 9x14 or something like that, or a 6x14. I don't have it in front of me, but no, it's a high power optic, because my whole theory is, if I want to see a 10-inch gong at 300 yards, I want to actually be able to see it.
Yeah, I understand.
If I'm deer hunting, and look, I mean, I've been deer hunting for 35 years, and I've shot, I'm in triple digits on deer kills, over the years. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I can't shoot a deer at 150, 200 yards with a low power optic, because, I mean, for many, many years, I mean, and guys that listen to our podcast know that, we're hunting in Indiana, it's a shotgun state. So, I really don't shoot. I really haven't, honestly, my longest deer kill with a shotgun, 12 gauge shotgun with deer slugs, maybe 120 yards.
That's pretty damn far.
That's pretty far.
I mean, that's a hell of a shot.
I tell you what, the vast majority, probably 80% of my deer kills have come. I mean, I'm talking with a shotgun. I'm not talking about with a pistol, a rifle, or a bow. I'm talking with a shotgun. Probably 80% of my deer kills have come less than 50 yards.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And for years, I hunted with a fixed power, a fixed 4-power scope. Because when you're shooting less than 100 yards, a 4-power scope is excellent. Plus, I use a side saddle mount to where I could drop down and use my iron sights if need be, and I'm not going to go into details on that. But, it worked for me for many, many years. But if I'm gonna hunt deer with a 7.62 by 39 caliber AR style rifle, I want to be able to shoot a deer at 200 yards. And honestly, a 4-power scope, look, with my eyesight and my age, I don't necessarily know if I want a low power scope to shoot a deer at 200 yards to get a good clean kill. So I opted for a high power scope for 2 reasons. One, it's going to benefit me if I decide to use this gun to hunt deer with. And that's kind of 50% of the reason why I built this one. And the other 50%, maybe we'll get into in another podcast. And I don't want to get into it now. But the other reason is, when we're out at the farm and we're out at the range and we're shooting, we're shooting 100, 125, 200, 230, and we go out to, whatever distance. I basically want to be able to see the freaking gongs.
Well, let me give you a new data point, because this
Yes.
happened to me yesterday on the range. We have some snow.
Yeah.
And I've painted all the gongs white.
Oh, that's interesting. White gongs on snow.
And here's the thing. Now, I'm going to say this, and there's going to be a bunch of people on the internet to be like, fuck you, you're full of shit. I could fucking do that with my fucking eyes closed.
Sure.
Let me tell you what happened yesterday. At 100 yards, we have a whatever IDPA IPSIG percentage target. It's not a huge target, but it's a silhouette target.
Yeah.
Next to that, we have a 10-inch gong.
Yeah.
And then next to that, we have a 4-inch piece of steel hanging on a shepherd's hook that's basically at ground level.
Yeah, that's the you're a badass motherfucker if you hit that gong.
Yeah, well, at 100 yards, it's not that big deal to hit that gong, but here's the thing.
Nope. But it is at 200.
But hold on. Now wait.
Okay.
I'm shooting 100 yards. The biggest issue yesterday was even seeing the fucking gong. I mean, you had to basically magnify. I had to turn my magnification all the way up just to even see it. Because
just to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
hey,
you can barely even see the shepherd's hook.
That's called camouflage is a bitch.
Yeah. And here's the thing, there's not that much snow out there. It's there's not even a blanket of snow anymore. It's only on the
shadow side of the hill.
Yes. Yeah. The shadow side of the hill. It's So there's
But you know what?
Holy shit.
But again, that's called real world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and look, I mean, we've painted these targets. We painted them orange. We painted them blue. We painted them white. I mean, we painted them multiple colors, and we found that white tends to stand out. But you know what, though? That's a very good point you bring up. So maybe we need to pick up several cans of black. So in the winter months, we paint the targets black instead of white, because white tends to stand best in the summer.
I do have other colors. I just haven't used them, and the reason why here's the complaint. It's like I remember I had some blue paint or something and different colors.
Yeah,
and even some safety orange paint. And what happened was some of the cops that were shooting on the property had commented that they were having a difficult time seeing their hits. Like they knew they hit the target and they could see a splash on this was shooting steel. But if they're still trying to shoot for groups and not have to walk down there, anything other than anything that's not like crazy bright white, it starts to distort it. Because especially if you have multiple hits on a target, you really have a harder time seeing a group. And so that was decided, you know what, I'll just paint all these bitches white. Well, I'll have to make a decision here at some point this year depending on the snow. You know, do I want to keep them white or keep them, you know, maybe change the color on them? So,
yeah. Well, you know, I mean, maybe in the winter when there's snow or frost on the ground, maybe safety orange is the key, opposed to black. I don't know.
But here's the thing: if it's the winter and it's wet and it's snowy, and then here's the thing: I really pretty much only want to have to go out there one time to paint up the targets. I don't want to have to slog out there. You know what I mean? Like, basically, whatever they are is what they are when you show up. You know what I mean? So,
well, look, I know when I go out there by myself and you're not there, when I leave, I always hit the I always hit the steel and paint them white, because that way it's fresh, unfired steel. The next time you show up,
and you have to paint the targets.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. You know, it's just like when you're done shooting, you paint the targets, and that way the next guy that shows up doesn't have to spend a half an hour painting targets before he can get down to business. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's just
it also keeps them from rusting. So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But also, what comes in handy too is I like to look at the targets. And here's the thing: like if I'm down there and I'm checking the range without walking it or driving it, I can check the targets with glass and see if there's any bullet strikes on them. I'm like, who the fuck's been here shooting?
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, when I go down there and other people that have access to the range go down there, we paint the targets before we leave. So if you go down there and you glass the targets and see bullet impacts, you know something's up.
Yeah, I only had it happen one time. I had one time I saw a target that was hit, and I was looking at it, and I was like, where'd that come from? And I figured out what it was because I looked at the bullet strike, because I went up and looked at it, what it was, and they never admitted to it, which is totally fine. But one of the sheriff's offices was out there. They were doing some tune-up for some of their guys that needed it, and the instructor was there. And I'm willing to bet you an instructor took a shot with his handgun at over 200 yards at our 200-yard full-size target, and he hit it.
Oh, blinked it, and
but you know, they're not going to go out there to paint it because they weren't shooting steel; they were shooting paper all day.
Yeah,
but it was a 9mm handgun round on steel, and I was like,
okay, okay, you know, and but that's cool because that's explainable, you know.
Yeah,
but you know, if you go out there and you blast the 100-yard steel and there's 15 or 20 impacts on it and it's not been painted, you know, there's a problem.
Oh yeah, even if there's one. I mean, there was one bullet strike on this one piece of steel, and it was like, what's going on? I'm Mr. Creepy when it comes to. I do things and set up things to monitor the property. So, and actually, we're putting in cameras this weekend.
Well, I was just going to say, I know the last time I went down there with my side chick, you saw me in the woods with her.
Dude, I better not see no side chicks on any deer cameras.
You don't want to see my white ass shining out, captured on a trail cam, do you?
God almighty. Dude. Oh, you know what? Speaking of side chicks, here's a good segue. So I don't know what was, we have the tenant farmer. I won't mention his name.
Yeah,
he's got a boatload of cows, right?
Yes.
And, the cows yesterday, I'm trying to film things and do things it was a racket. I couldn't believe how much noise these cows were making.
Well, this is a time of the year the calves get weaned.
Are you sure? I think it's too late in the year for that.
No. Trust me. I mean, down at the Mitchell Range area where I've been deer hunting for 35 years. There's been years where it's like you're trying to sleep at night and all you hear is calves just carrying on, because this is a time of year that farmers weaned the calves off their mothers. And of course, they're used to nursing off the teat.
See,
And
here's the thing. I thought he did that earlier, and I thought what it was now is because because he showed up and put a bunch of hay, off a hay bale into an area to feed them because they're running out of grass, so they can't graze really that well.
yeah,
And I thought
yeah.
it was that.
It's probably well, I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know the scenario of the tenant farmer we're talking about that we shall not mention, but I don't know what he's doing with his cows. But all I do know is this is the time of year a lot of calves get weaned from their mothers, and dude, I mean, it's brutal when you're trying to sleep and all night long as you hear these calves whining because they want to suck on the teat, but it's like it's time to cut you off.
Yeah, it is a racket. Like it's in all the video I shot. It was a fucking racket, and it's just like I mean we can't discuss it now, but it was a big motivator for me to be like, well, maybe next year we're gonna have to do something about those cows. And we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We cannot not going to talk about it.
We'll leave it at that, but you may be very right. You may be correct on that.
Yeah. So, a couple of things. I guess it's going on. Because you know how like everybody went to Pornhub. Remember we used to joke about Pornhub a little bit. Did you hear about this with the industry? The Pornhub thing. You remember Pornhub, right?
Yeah. Everyone who went away from Facebook went to YouTube went to Pornhub and all that stuff. Yeah.
And I don't know if Pornhub has been successful or not for people. I don't think it has been.
I from everything I've seen, it's been a huge flop. So
that would mean you have to go to Pornhub to find out, which I won't. But here's the thing. So there's been a couple of things that have been going on. So like YouTube has done a big terms of service change, and they even made us do it. They made us. We have to tell them, do we produce content for children? Yes, no, sometimes yes, sometimes no. And so I'm like, no. Well,
no.
They are, because they've had a lot of trouble with, like, I guess, pedophiles, even like innocent videos that might even have children in it. The pedophiles get in the comment section. So they're having a bunch of issues at YouTube, like keeping this under control because they don't want to lose advertisers. So it looks like they're going to start really limiting family channels. But they've now changed their terms of service at YouTube, where they're saying they now reserve the right to remove your content from YouTube for the sole reason of it just not being commercially, is it advertiser friendly or commercially appealing or something? Like,
well, that's interesting, because who decides what's commercially appealing or not?
Well, they decide just on all their other shit. But here's the thing: I wonder if there's a big whack coming. But also, PayPal has now decided this week to no longer. I didn't know this, but I guess there's a bunch of people on Pornhub getting money from people through PayPal.
Okay. I didn't know that Pornhub people were getting money through PayPal. I mean, I don't know.
I guess. Could be the same situation, kind of like some kind of like, hey, give me $10 and I'll show you my cooter. I don't know what's going on, or if it's like a recurring billing, but they've apparently PayPal has whacked access to that universe, and apparently there's a bunch of other online pay sites that have also done this. So here's my point. Let me bring this home to the listener, because we're a firearms, politics, and pop culture kind of podcast.
Yeah,
this shit's lining up that it looks like there's a huge, I would call it a whack coming. I don't know if they're going to just knock all the gun stuff off and then all, and deplatform everybody, but it certainly looks like it looks to me like YouTube's trying to turn into mainstream media.
Okay, first off, that doesn't shock me in the least bit that YouTube wants to turn into mainstream media. But the other thing is, I mean, YouTube has had large whackings before, so honestly, if another large whacking is on the horizon, again, that doesn't shock me in the least bit.
Has
I mean,
YouTube had a large whacking? Are we sure about that?
No, okay. Look at all the people that used to make a living off of YouTube monetization, and then they all got
there.
They're still there, but they're not making money. And you can say, okay, I used to make $50,000 a year off of YouTube. Now I make $3,000 a year. You may still be there, but that's a whacking in my book, my friend.
Yeah, there's another one. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's interesting. So here's a couple other things. So Apple has their streaming service, and Apple TV, I guess they call it. And then Disney just announced their streaming service, and I guess it had so many people sign up for it. It went down like the first day.
Okay.
But here's the thing: the Disney streaming service is making money from day one. Netflix has been out forever. Netflix is not making money. YouTube's making money. Hulu's out there. What else is out there? There's probably a couple other streaming services. But
there are, but there's several of them out there. Yes.
Yeah, but my point is, this is not unrelated to the space that we are in, and I don't know if I'm trying to figure out what's going to end up. I'm trying to war game this out. What's going to happen? Okay, because if you can all these, I don't know, I call mainstream television shows that are in reruns. So for example, people with kids want to watch Frozen. They're now going to probably have to go to Disney pay service. If people want to watch reruns of Friends or reruns of The Office, which apparently are the two most watched shows on all of paid television, I think Netflix is losing those. It's I get the reason I'm bringing all this up is it's is there going to be a big a pole shift here, kind of like the North Pole switches to the South Pole? Is network television going to flip off the networks and end up on one of these streaming services? If you want to watch the news or some of this basic programming, and is it going to flip to one of these services? But then subsequently, are some of these services going to shove a lot of this non-commercially viable stuff off their platforms altogether? For example, NBC would never let us run videos on their network, even if they didn't allow us to make money off of it. Is YouTube going to turn into NBC? That's my question.
You know what? For now, no, they won't, and they won't over the next 2 or 3 years. But 5-6 years down the road, they very well could be. I mean, look, something like this shit like this doesn't happen overnight. But with that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't happen either. So, I mean, it very well could turn into, as you say, NBC.
Well, if YouTube turns into NBC or CBS or let's call network television, because it seems like YouTube's getting a lot more network television. I wonder if they're going to push all this shit off.
Well, I tell you, the one thing I don't like about YouTube that's irritating to me is I subscribe to quite a few YouTube channels, and of different, not just necessarily guns or politics or whatever, for example, I'm interested in panning for gold. I don't do it. I've never done it. I know you really can't make a living out of it, but there's 2 or 3 guys that I follow on YouTube that up in like British Columbia and Canada that pan for gold. And when I'm sitting around doing stuff, I enjoy watching their videos. It's just kind of like, I don't know, a relaxing thing. It's just kind of like I can shut down and watch these dudes pan for gold, and they'll go out all freaking day long and pan for gold and get like, and get
what does YouTube do that irritates you with your panning?
Okay, but no. Here's what I'm talking about though. Is they'll go out and they'll produce a 30-minute video of them panning for gold, and they might get 2 grams, not ounces, grams of gold, which is nothing. But in that 30-minute video, they'll have 4 freaking commercials, and it's like, okay, I mean, I can watch, fucking Judge Judy for a half an hour and get 6 commercials, I mean. I
don't know, but I've been told that if you pay for YouTube, like it's like
YouTube Red or something.
Yeah,
like
whatever it's called. If you pay for YouTube, I think you don't get served commercials.
And I've heard that, but I don't pay for YouTube, so.
Well, but you're at a pain point where it's to the point that you hate it enough that there are people that they will.
No. See, but I'm not at the pain point where I'm willing to pay for it, because I watch gold panning videos because I enjoy them. I watch videos of like Gordon Ramsay from like Hell's Kitchen, where they have like 3 or 4 minute video clips. I'm totally not at the point where I'm willing to fucking pay for non-commercial.
Well, that's not my point. My point is YouTube, it looks to me, you're saying it without even saying it, it looks to me like YouTube is trying to turn into network television.
Well, and that very well could be. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you in the least bit. I'm just saying that I have noticed over the past, year or so that there's a hell of a lot more commercials. And now you'll watch some YouTube videos where there won't be very many commercials at all. And then you'll watch some where there's a shit ton of commercials. And I'm assuming the videos that have a shit ton of commercials are the videos that have, 1 million fucking followers.
Well, the other question is we don't have monetization on our YouTube stuff. We've got it all turned off. We couldn't get it anyway. But I can't guarantee that YouTube at some point won't run a commercial on our YouTube video.
That would suck.
Well, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It would suck for us or not. They're in a business to make money, and they're serving advertising to make money. And so, it's like, at what point will they kick off people that can't be monetized?
Yeah.
Why if you're going to spend a half hour watching a gun video and they can't run a commercial against you, why even have you on the network?
That's a good point.
It's coming.
But you know what, though? Look, everyone, look, if you look at all the Facebook guys, you look at all the forum guys, they all say MeWe, go to MeWe, blah, blah, blah.
Whatever.
And I know exactly, whatever. MeWe has no fucking traction whatsoever. But that could give MeWe a boost. But okay, being realistic about it. So, okay, say YouTube does that and MeWe gets a huge boost. How long is it before MeWe just becomes into another fucking YouTube?
Well, hold on. Now, here's
money.
Here's the problem. It's not MeWe. Okay, I remember everyone was talking about MeWe for a hot minute, like a year and a half ago. Then all of a sudden, a month ago, people were talking about MeWe. And then I don't know if it's busy or not. But then there's Full 30. There's that Recoil TV has now got their own stuff running. There's Utah. There's a bunch of these things. The problem is you can't. Nobody. The amount of traffic that you get from YouTube, if you have a successful channel, and we don't, but it's like it's astronomically more than anything that you'll get on. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to shit on MeWe or Full 30, but pick any one of them. It's not like 2 or 3 times or 4 times or 8 times. It's like 100 times. It's untenable. So here's the thing. So hold on. Here's what happens, and people don't realize this. You're a content creator, and so now you got to serve all these videos to all of these different platforms, and not, the work you put into YouTube, at least you get traffic off of it. 5 people watch a video on Full 30, and it's like, it's almost not even worth it, because it's not like videos magically appear on these platforms. Somebody has to upload the shit, write the descriptions, put in the tags, put in the thumbnail, and you got to do it for every one of these things. And there's some automated things, but it's like, this is all bullshit. Like this idea, like, well, if YouTube fucking collapses, it'll give a boost to MeWe. Fuck MeWe. Fuck Full 30. I mean, my argument is go to John1911.com. Recoil Web, their argument is go to Recoil TV. That's why they started their own thing. And it's like, we just got to break. This is going to get a lot smaller. If YouTube does flush everybody, the numbers that people see, like, imagine, like, if you're listening to this right now, and I don't care who it is, whether it's like the biggest gun channel or the second biggest or the third biggest, if YouTube flushes this, those channels will survive, but when wherever you go watch them, they will have a 10th of the traffic. They will no longer be big, and that will not change.
No, that's absolutely 100% true.
Well, hold on, but now let me confirm why that is. Okay, in like 1980, remember who shot JR? You remember?
Wasn't it Bobby's wife?
Yeah, I don't care, but there used to be a show. An answer for you. Hold on. There used to be a show on network television called dude, what was it called?
Dallas.
You're breaking up on me. What was it called?
Dallas.
Okay.
Yes, Dallas.
It had Larry Hagman.
Yeah, he was J.R. Ewing,
and all these this family. And here's the thing: so there was this big this guy was an evil character, or he was a hated character, and somebody shot him.
Who was a dick?
Hold on. Let me get to the point. I don't care about Dallas. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know. I won't even look them up. I don't care. But let's just say the night of who shot JR gets shot. And then everybody's talking about the next day or the next Monday. Dude, I bet you like 20 million people or 30 million or 40 million people watched that fucking episode in the 80s.
Okay. Now.
Hold on, but I'm not to the punch. Hold on, I'm not to the punchline. You got to listen to this. This is what people today don't understand. A successful TV show today on network fucking television is like 5 million people. It's not just it's not just like the top 1, 2, or 3 YouTube channels that will take a haircut and go down in size. I don't know. Let's just, I don't want to, because I don't want to slander anybody. I don't want to pump anybody up. Generic YouTube channel, let's say it's got 100 million people that watch it. I mean, that's a fake number. Here's the thing: they're not if they get kicked off YouTube, they're not taking 100 million people with them. They're not taking 10 million people with them. They'll take about 200,000 people with them. It will be horrible because it's not just the gun channels that are getting smaller. It's everybody. The network, a successful network show on I don't know, like Game of Thrones. Like, how many people watch Game of Thrones? 5 million people?
I have no idea. I've never seen an episode of it, but
I haven't either. But it's not
I know
60 million people.
I know it's popular as hell. I have no clue how many people watch it. I really don't.
But I guarantee you the numbers that people today say is a popular show pales in comparison to whatever happened on Falcon Crest or Dallas or Knight Rider in 1980. The numbers are so small. The money's smaller because there's so much more competition. And what's happened is the YouTube numbers are artificially high because it is the place where everybody goes to watch this online content. And if they break all this up and like they wipe out entire categories of people that make content, for example, guns or insert whatever, there's a bunch of other stuff too. It will never come back. It will never come back. Those people will turn into John 1911. They will not be hardly any bigger than we. And nobody sees this coming.
Well, I mean, look,
you disagree.
No, I don't disagree. What I'm saying is, okay. I do disagree in one respect. I think a lot of people see it coming, but a lot of people don't know how to deal with it, and they're not set up to deal with it. And that's one of the big problems with it. See, because we are set up to deal with it. I mean, because look, we have such a low viewer audience anyway. Mm-hmm. It's not like we have, 1.5 million YouTube followers. I mean, we've got like 8. Okay.
Well, hold on. Now, here's the thing. When Facebook was at its peak, and we were doing a lot of the stuff as tactical T-shirts, we used to be competitive and on some days beat MSNBC during the day.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, that is 100% true. Yes.
But here's the thing. We knew Facebook was going to whack us.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it.
It was a matter of time. It wasn't a matter of will they whack us. It was just a matter of when they whack us.
So I decided, I was like, I'm not putting all this effort and time and money into Facebook or any of these other platforms just to have them whack us down the road, and we have to start over. So build our own playgrounds, and even though it'll be smaller, we own it. And
well,
I think that how there's a Facebook apocalypse, there's a YouTube apocalypse coming.
Oh yeah,
nobody really sees it.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. It's going to happen. I mean, look, we wall with Facebook long before a lot of people did. And you know what? It cost us a lot of money because we burned our own house down. And look,
it's better to burn our own house down than have Facebook burn it down for us.
Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of people may not understand that, but we were actually making money, doing well, and we decided, fuck this. We saw the writing on the wall, and we literally burned our own house down. And I know that upset a lot of our long-term customers and whatnot, but and we spent a year of people emailing the shit out of us saying, when are you going to do this? When are you going to, but look, at the end of the day, it's all about survival. And
okay, you know what? Since we're talking about survival, and people have heard us have these conversations before, I'm going to say something that nobody on this podcast has ever heard me say, and it's going to be controversial. And I don't mean it in any bad way, because I don't know these people, and I'm literally not. I'm not being that guy, but I'm just giving analysis to our audience. For example, I don't think Full 30 is going to make it.
You know what? I like Full 30. I do. But let me tell you something.
Do you use it?
No, but here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say.
There it is.
I like
go to
Full
fucking
30.
YouTube.
No, here's the thing. This is what I was going to say. I like Full 30 because I like the concept behind it. But the truth is, when I watch, and I'm not going to name anyone in particular that's part of the Full 30 family. But when I watch their videos, I don't go to Full 30 to watch their videos. I go to Facebook. And
Facebook or
that's,
YouTube?
or I'm sorry. Yeah. I my mistake. I mean, I'm caught up
in your moment.
I'm caught up in the moment. I go to YouTube and I watch their videos on YouTube. I don't go to full 30. And that's the problem.
So let me tell this to the listener at home. So the Recoil Web has their TV thing out. And you know, it's cool. I mean, they're doing it. It's fine. Yep. They've got the girl from the Cody Firearms Museum. They've got full 30. I'm sorry, no, they got the girl from Cody Firearms Museum. They've got Ian from Forgotten Weapons.
Yeah.
They've got I think they've got the other guy who's partners with Ian. They've got the Sea and Arsenal people.
Yeah.
Like the people that do all the deep dive videos. Well, here's the thing. Why okay, these people, these channels, so these groups, I mean, the girl from Cody's not a big YouTuber.
No.
But these other guys I just mentioned have huge followings on YouTube, and they're also all on full 30. Why are they going to Recoil? Because number one, I'm just using logic here. Number one, everyone knows that YouTube isn't stable and you can't count on it. Well, why aren't they doubling down on full 30? I don't know why. I have no information. But logic tells me it must not be working. I think full 30 is going to go out of business. And I think a lot of these people are going to get a lot smaller.
You know what? I mean, here's the thing.
Here's one. Matt from Demolition Ranch, because you like this guy.
Oh,
you know all about this.
Dude, I love Matt. I've talked to Matt online.
How many people does Matt from Demolition Ranch have on one of his channels?
Oh Jesus, I don't know. God, I mean, I don't even know how many followers he has. But I've been following Matt for.
Does he have 8 million followers?
He may have.
And here's the thing: when Matt from Demolition Ranch,
look, I've been following Matt from Demolition Ranch from like day one. Well, no, that's not true. I lied. I haven't been following him from day one, but I've been following Matt from Demolition Ranch when the only gun he had was a Mossberg 500. You know?
Yeah, I just remember seeing videos of some kid who was like doing crazy shit with a Mossberg. But hold on, here's my point. I want to get to this point. Matt, he is what he is, and he's got how many millions of people on his multiple channels?
He's got 7 or 8 million followers at least.
Okay, here's my point. Hold on, here's my point. If YouTube whacks him, I don't care where he goes. He could go to all of the channels, or all of the portals, MeWe, Recoil, Netflix. I don't care. Hold on, let me make the point. I don't care. He could go anywhere he fucking wants to go. He could go to all of them. In total, he will not pull in 7 million subscribers.
I agree with you.
It'll be over.
It'll be over. No, I totally agree with you.
If you run a YouTube channel and you are functioning at X level, and you need to cover your nut or whatever it is you're doing, if you're paying your mortgage or keeping your lights on based off of those numbers, you better get ready. You better get off these fucking platforms and get your bills down lower, because you will not. These people think that they're going to take 7 million subscribers with them to full 30, or 7 million subscribers with them to Recoil Web, and every time, or I'm going to go to MeWe, or I'm going to go to Utah something whatever, and they get like 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
When this happens, all of these people who are successful are going to end up at our size.
Yes,
it's going to crush these guys.
No.
It's going to crush these guys.
You're absolutely right. It will. I mean, because they're going to get nothing.
I'm sitting here waiting for the crash to happen. Not that I want bad things to happen to other people, but at least the sooner that YouTube gets out of our way, the better off we'll be.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. And look, I mean, we've talked about this many, many times in private. I mean, you know.
So I probably got to get off of it because the people probably get tired of hearing.
Yeah, I know. They're getting tired of hearing it. And you know what? Probably 80% of the people don't believe what we're saying. But look, the truth is, we've lived this through other venues. So, I mean, we see the writing on the wall because we literally went from hundreds of thousands of dollars to zero. So we know what we're talking about, whether people believe us or not. But you know what? Yeah, that's okay. You know what? 4 years from now, come back and listen to podcast 150, and you'll be like, oh, fuck. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but here's the thing. All the things that we described about, like, again, not to harp on him, but it's just because I feel like it's a safe example, is not only going to happen to Matt from Demolition Ranch, it's going to happen to the giant, you know, I don't know, like some other non-politically correct subject matter channel on YouTube that has a horrendous amount of subscribers and followers and views. When they get kicked off of YouTube, they will never get those numbers back. And it's going to happen because no one ever got the numbers back from Dallas in 1980.
Exactly.
No one ever got the numbers back from Falcon Crest in 1980. No one ever got the numbers back from Knight Rider. The real numbers for this space is a lot lower. YouTube is artificially high, and YouTube is going to start looking at the business model, and I think they're going to basically say, we're going to have to stop running videos for things that we can't run commercials on, or things that that could piss off advertisers. And they're going to turn it in NBC.
Oh.
So, okay, let's talk about we got to get off this.
Okay.
So, did you hear that the Navy has ordered some 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 rifles
okay.
to test?
Now, I had not heard that until you mentioned it to me, and I had two reactions to it. My first reaction was like, what the fuck? Who cares? And my second reaction was, well, you know what? That's actually kind of fucking interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So,
boy, here's the most interesting part.
Okay.
A couple years ago, then I'm going to have to get it off here because I'm only good for about an hour. A couple years ago, when 6.5 Creedmoor was turning in like the biggest thing, and everyone's like, if you're going to shoot competitive NRL or PRS or all these matches, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
And, you know, get this. And I warned everybody. I told all these guys, I said, do not think you're going to buy 6.5 Creedmoor and that gun's going to be around in 15 years. Because what'll happen is the cool kids who are running 6.5 Creedmoor now and are getting paid to be sponsored shooters and they're all talking about it.
Yeah.
They will go on to new caliber.
Yes.
And you're going to have 6.5 Creedmoor, and hopefully it's a standardized caliber, but it could die. And people thought I was full of shit.
Well,
and now all these fucking hold on. All these kids now for PRS and all these matches, they shoot 6mm Creedmoor. They shoot 6x47. A lot of them are shooting 300 PRC now, and some of these other calibers and maybe 6.5 PRC. And it's what happened to Creedmoor? Oh, by the way, the Navy has ordered 6.5 Creedmoor now that it's finally out of style. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I mean, okay, now, first off, that's the way the military does things. They're always behind the fucking curve. You know, I mean, with that being said, I mean, that's true. They've always been behind the curve. Look, and I'm not a fan of 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm not. I don't care because it's not my style of shooting. If you're a 6.5 Creedmoor guy, that's cool. I mean,
you're not a sniper. You're not like one of these. You're not a tactical shooter.
No, I'm not a tactical shooter. And I'm telling you what. I mean, if I can hit the fucking 10-inch gong at 300 yards, I'm happy as a motherfucker. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, I'm not.
I've seen it, everybody. He does the jig.
Yeah, no, look, I know, and that's true. You've seen me do my jig, and it's not freaking pretty. But But look, I mean, I'm telling you what. I mean, I don't shoot clover leaves at 800 yards or 1,000 yards. I mean, hell, I can't see the freaking target at 1,000 yards. I don't give a shit about 6.5 Creedmoor. But with that being said, I find it interesting that the military is picking it up. I don't
hold
find
on.
it unusual.
That begs the next question. So let me ask you this question. Number one, is the military picking it up? Number two, is it now a military caliber? My answer would be no.
And I would agree.
Because because I remember, because there's a guy I know who was involved in he was a vendor for the program for the new sniper rifle for the Army, and it was and even for Crane, I think. And he was coming to me and he was like, it looks to me like they're going to all go to 330. I think he called it 338 Norma.
I've heard of 338.
Or maybe
I don't know a lot of
maybe it's 300. You know what? It might be 300 Norma, 300 Norma Magnum. And so he was like, it looks like that's what they're all shooting right now. And it was like, okay, where did that go? No one shoots 300 Norma.
No,
right now that's 300 PRC.
Yeah.
And the military's running. You know, my point is, if you're going to buy these things, if you're listening to this, my advice would be to buy a military caliber or standardized caliber. I think 6.5 is probably standardized enough that you'll be able to get ammo for the next 30 years.
Oh yeah,
but
but
if you think, be able to get ammo. But be careful if you're really depending on things like bulk ammo, or you think this is going the way it's going to be now, like all these people that are on these gun forums or on these YouTube channels, because there's some new caliber that hasn't been around but for 5 years. Well, they've always been out for like 10 years, but no one knew about them until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the future. How many caliber, dude? 40 Smith & Wesson is fucking gone away.
Oh, yeah. 40 Smith & Wesson was gone away, and that was a fucking police caliber.
That was the caliber. Everybody went to it actually became the caliber, and it went away. And now, even on the surplus market, you can't give these 40 caliber guns.
No, because no one fucking wants them.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. So take a lesson from some of this. Buy it because you want it, not because someone tells you it's the best
Exactly. Thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but look, I mean, and honestly, we've talked about this on past podcasts, you know, about. And
then we're gonna have to exit it soon because I'm literally going to lose you. It's going to drop us. So
okay,
go ahead, give me your point. Then we're going to have to get out.
No, look, I mean, look, these boutique caliber. Look, I don't want to call 6.5 Creedmoor a boutique caliber. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. But the truth is, at the end of the day, you had a good analogy. It's a 40 Smith & Wesson. It'll always be around. It'll always be around, but will it be a mainstream? Will it be a 308 or a 5.56 or even a 7.62 by 39? No, it will not be.
It's, you know what? It's pretty interesting because as popular as 6.5 Creedmoor is right now, the 40 Smith & Wesson was more popular. Look where it is 10 years from now. 6.5 Creedmoor could be like, oh, you're shooting a Creedmoor? I'm sorry. And seriously, people buy these guns like they save all their money. And it's like the one gun they buy because it's like, I'm going to buy one gun. It's going to be the best gun. And I'm going to mortgage my house. And they don't buy smart. Well, and they end up looking like assholes.
First,
and
you're that
this,
guy,
we got to get out of this or it's going to drop us and I can't do the exit.
Okay.
So this wraps up episode 150 of the John 1911 podcast. If you want to hear more ranting and ravings about how we think YouTube needs to get out of our way, go to our website, John1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. Remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun. Everybody, have a good day.
Hey, see you later.
I'm sorry, like literally, it's going to drop.
Hey, that's no big deal.
See you. Bye.
Bye.